PlayStation might have a bigger problem than fans realize. New rumors suggest Saros underperformed hard. And now people are questioning whether Sony is trying to recover losses through higher prices on things like PlayStation Plus and future first party games. And if that's true, this changes the conversation around Sony completely because Saros wasn't supposed to struggle. It was supposed to help justify Sony's massive investment into bigger budget experience. So now the question is, did Sony bet too much on one game? And if sales really disappointed, could fans end up paying a price for it? Let's break down what's being rumored and why people are starting to worry. All right, so before we jump in our topic, in the topic, hit the comment section. Let me know, should fans have to pay the price because PlayStation exclusives are underperforming, or if one failed game could lead to a higher PlayStation Plus price? Are PlayStation fans finally going to push back if that's the case? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, so what's being rumored? Saros reportedly underperformed, selling 300,000 copies, making $220 million in 2 weeks. Now, let me just say, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Hey, especially when in the same breath, Capcom with Pragmata, not just a couple of weeks ago, sold 2 million in 2 days. The Saros hitting 300K in 2 weeks is borderline embarrassing. I mean, like I said, Pragmata came out not that long ago, and it sold 2 million in 2 days. I mean, Resident Evil Requiem sold 5 million, and I think in 5 days. So what is the disconnect? Now, I will say, I did jump online. I got on Twitter. I did some background check on this topic. A lot of people, and I didn't realize, maybe because I didn't like Returnal, and it wasn't a game for me. So I was already knew Saros was never going to be on my bucket list to buy. But I talked about it because it had a lot of news around it, blah 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 blah. I didn't realize that it had such a negative connotation about it being too woke, and I'm not gonna get into the racial thing because I mean, but I didn't realize it was getting so much blowback. And even 007, from a few comments on our past 007 video, said, "Hey, it's a lot of woke stuff in this game." And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on that. I don't know." But there's rumors saying that Sony is trying to recover their costs for this game because this game was said to have a budget of $76 million. And let me just say, Sony is definitely a different type of business model than Xbox. Xbox can eat losses left and right because, we all know who their daddy is, Microsoft. And Microsoft got big dick money. Sony, nah, bruh. Nah, Sony has sold off a lot of their other aspirations, businesses. I mean, I think they still do TVs, but a lot of the other stuff they used to do in the digital space, like DVD players, blah, 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 all that, camcorder cameras. I think they still got cameras, but they sold off a lot of their acquisition and other ventures. So when we talk about Sony, it's just Sony. So whatever money they make is the money they make. They don't have somebody that can come rescue them like Microsoft does with Xbox at the end of the fiscal year. So there's a lot of rumors saying, hey, to cover their asses, they're gonna increase the PlayStation Plus prices, which is already kind of not even borderline. That shit is already overpriced. More expensive first party games going forward. They might try to push it to that $80 tier, which the bigger industry issue that comes from Saros potentially being a flop, this just highlights that gaming budgets are kind of getting out of hand and the amount of time that it takes to make these said games. Publishers are needing bigger sales to even break even. AAA gaming is becoming very much a high risk when, I think 10, 15 years ago, they said, hey, gaming is the only recession-proof business model that there is. Oh, whoever said that probably don't have a job today in gaming. Possible problems for PlayStation. As you know, they're too dependent on big budget exclusives. Exclusives is their whole business model as they, try to dip their toe in different stuff like live service games, which are fucking horrendous with that. Marathon, we all know the embarrassment that is. And I mean, I'll talk about that later in the week as well. But this is a lot to come off the heels of a potential one game not meeting, I guess, sales expectation. Now, let me just say, baby, if this was going to be the trigger to raise the PlayStation Plus prices, subscriptions, they were always going to do that. This is just a convenient cover up for them to say, oh, well, look, we didn't make no money here and we lost money. So therefore, we need to up the price over here. No, no, no. No, 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 no. For this to even be rumored, that means they're already wanting to raise the price of PlayStation Plus. And, I gotta say, for this to even be rumored on the heels where Xbox just lower the price of Game Pass, oh, baby, this is not gonna sit well. And then they just had all that fucking drama from the DRM for NASCO, and they had to make a statement kind of putting on their tapping shoes to tap out the controversy of that. And so this is just insult to injury. Like we've already reported, they got $1,000 console on the market. The base PlayStation 5 that was originally launched at $500 is now going for $650. Like, come on. I mean, like, are we doing like Sony? And at the end of the day, listen, the big debate and the main topic that I even want to bring to the forefront of this conversation with other fans is, everything in gaming is getting more expensive. Yes, I understand that. Yes, inflation, the whole little terrorist and the Cheeto man in office doing whatever he did. I mean, but at the end of the day, baby, it's not my place as a gamer to cover your ass when you invest all this money into a project that doesn't end up working. That's not my fault. No one told you to do that. If anything, you could have picked so many other different things that probably was on the image board, but you chose to go with Saros, and whatever decisions you made at the end of the day, if it doesn't pan out, that's on you. Why does Sony think and feel so comfortable saying, hey, well, hey, this fucked up. Hey, Bungie cost us $800 million in a year. Hey, yo, gamer. Hey, let me hit them pockets for even more money. Like, it's not sitting well. It's not sitting well. It's not sitting well. And baby, let me just tell you, Sony, fuck you. Like, PlayStation Plus is already too expensive. I mean, your console is already too expensive. There's already reports saying, hey, since the price increase and the scarcity, because, they did make scarcity when they raised the price. So everybody was scrambling to buy these pros at their original price before the increase happened. So they did make a quick little scarcity of sales. But after that, there's reports saying that the hardware is sitting on shelves. No one is buying it because probably no one can afford it. And now you're trying to raise prices for PlayStation Plus. But at the end of the day, let's also focus on Saros. What went wrong with Saros? I don't know. But I mean, maybe there was a lot of people like me that didn't like Returnal that much and don't like Rogue Life that wasn't going to ever give Saros the time of day. But also, maybe there is that large amount of fan base that felt like it was too rogue. The story was a little crazy all over the place from what I saw. Like, I mean, he's a man that cheated, lost his wife. His wife ended up having a girl. I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Listen, anything at this point is possible, but selling 300K over 2 weeks when Pragmata just sold 2 million in 2 days, baby, it's just not looking good for Saros. And as the negativity continues to flow and all these rumors are coming out, Saros might get bombed just off the cuff of people being fed up with PlayStation. Now, like I said in previous videos, hey, the reputation of PlayStation and Sony is in the toilet. Now, yeah, we let them, they get to overshadow a lot of their nastiness because they sold, 900 million consoles. But at the end of the day, we can see you, Sony. Like, you making this DRM finasco, you trying to raise prices, you charging $1,000 for a console that was originally at $700. Like, nah, bruh. Nah. No. People are saying no, and rightfully so. Hey, listen, let me ask you, the fans and the listeners, could this be one bad launch? Maybe this was just a fuck up. 2026, we've already had a long list of fuck ups in games, or is this just a warning sign for the entire industry that people is not going for this wokeness, the same or bland story, or whatever the negative outlook of Saros? Because it's just so much on the internet that I really can't tell what's really just being talked about for the sake of being negative and what's really problems with the game Saros. I don't know. I didn't play it. I don't plan to play it, but if you played it, let me know if it's a good game. Do you think that the negativity is uncalled for, or do you think this game was never going to sell at the end of the day? Let me know in the comments down below.
And that's it for this video. of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, Are You Not Entertained?